Hey everybody, Jason Burr here, and it appears yet again we now have authoritative sources saying things like vitamin D might be a cheap and safe way to treat coronavirus patients. And here's the deal. We've been talking about a healthy immune system from the very beginning of this, no matter what you believed. We were talking about, look, one of the things you can do to combat this, whether you believe it or not, is to have a healthy immune system, to not be vitamin deficient. And early on, we talked about the studies of intravenous vitamin C. We talked about steroid treatment that was later verified this week. And now, and I find it kind of a little bit ironic, vitamin D, new hope in the war on corona. Why do I find it ironic? I actually did a video earlier today on the Rhodes statue, the Cecil Rhodes statue, now being removed from Oxford, and the positives and the negatives of that. We watched a segment of Invisible Empire. If you didn't catch that video today, I really recommend that you go check it out. And right there on the cover, now authoritative sources are saying vitamin D is a new hope, and the actual article is quite extensive. We're going to get to it in a moment. I want to remind everybody out there to thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share, and that we are fully demonetized on this platform right here, apparently due to harmful content. And I would imagine that harmful content is when I dare speak out with common sense, and I dare speak out with scientific papers and research that is not yet deemed authoritative by YouTube and the predator class that controls that censorship. And of course, we have gone ahead and did it live on air to try to get our monetization back. We still don't know what was so harmful. Was it harmful talking about vitamins like vitamin D over the last couple months? That sunlight itself is something you need. Big source of vitamin D, by the way. So let's take a look. And again, thumbs this video up, guys. Dishing out vitamin D supplements may be cheap and safe way to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, researchers have claimed. Currently, the NHS recommends Brits take 10 micrograms of the sunshine nutrient each day during lockdown to keep your bones and muscles healthy. Really? No kidding. Probably more than that. But as you'll find out, and especially if you read on through the article, again, that's very extensive. I've seen this not only now with coronavirus, but with other things that get treated by vitamin D. A lot of people will try to say that if you take too much vitamin D, you can get sick and it will cause a lot of other problems. I'm not a doctor, but I have also seen other doctors contest that notion. That's all I can say right there. Okay? But it says on its website, there is currently not enough evidence to support claims that the immune system boosting nutrient reduces the risk of coronavirus. You see how they still have to talk out of both sides of their mouth? But then again, when you read this again, Belgian scientists have now claimed giving out vitamin D supplements could be an inexpensive mitigation strategy in the global crisis, which has killed 440,000 people worldwide. And that's the thing. You look at the comorbidities. You look at the vitamin deficiency of many of these people. And it was somewhere, I think, about 20%, 1 in 5 that they gave it to, in which they saw a significant difference. All right. And vitamin D levels, along with other vitamin levels, drop when someone is sick. All common sense stuff. All common sense stuff. And, you know, when I was watching a recent, I think it was Joe Rogan and Bill Burr, still catch a lot of the Rogan podcasts when I can in the background. And he was talking about, you know, it just baffles his mind why they're not talking about a strong immune system. And now, especially now, with all the empirical data. You know, I watched Cuomo today. And we're talking about, I think in most, there's one county or region that has a 3% infection rate. And everybody else is testing somewhere below 1.3%. I believe the Southern Tier region is 0%. In fact, so much so tomorrow is going to be his last and final coronavirus press conference, and then it's all over, right? He's barely talked about reopening schools. Today he actually very quickly flashed on the screen basically 4 different points and then bullet points under those on what people would have to present to him before they even considered it. And just a glance at that is extremely draconian. And nowhere there was it, hey, let's boost the kids' immune systems. Let's ensure that, they're on a vitamin regimen. Let's provide that with every single meal. And make sure, they at least agree to take it. That's not on the thing. No, it's testing, emergency strategies, quarantine, disinfectants, fear, contact tracing. Not vitamin D, vitamin C, steroid treatments, right? Can't talk about the hydroxychloroquine working, the Z-Paks, the antibiotics that have been discussed by other doctors. This is a problem. But at least now, since you have this new Belgian study coupled with this Indonesian study, right? The more studies that are out there, and as soon as you start getting this some traction in any mainstream publication, it at least gives you a little more leeway. If you dare just to read the paperwork, or if there seems to be a concerted effort to censor that information for one reason or another, well, no, then you're harmful content. It's a real problem. All right? Now here they mention the obvious. Basically, if you are of a lighter complexion and you're taking in the sun, you don't need as much vitamin D. You get more of that nutrient from that. Darker skinned people have to spend more time in the sun to receive as much vitamin D. And remember, there are other treatments that will give you vitamin D. Again, something that is naturally produced by our body. Something that we know, by the way, stops depression. When we don't get enough of it, we get down and out, we get blue, we have a different thinking and mindset. Think about that with these lockdowns, staying in your house the majority of the time, especially now it's 80 plus degrees outside most days. I would encourage people to get sunlight. I would encourage people to take supplements, okay? But I've been saying that every single day, even with this, I think they're recommending, 10 micrograms max. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I haven't seen any evidence that say you double that and it would be a bad thing. Vitamin D is super cheap. You can literally go to any grocery store or pharmacy and pick it up for $5, $10, $15, depending on how much of it you want. So guys, here we go. Let's see if this information continues not to trickle out, but steamroll out. Hopefully we can make this the norm again. Hopefully we can talk about antiviral treatments and vitamin treatments and not quarantining somebody because of this, not taking away their loved ones from them so they can speak on their behalf, and using these treatments instead of trying to frighten everybody into a unproven and, quite frankly, dangerous vaccine program. I know, it's wacky. It's crazy to think that. So thumbs this up, subscribe, and share, guys. Join the Burmis Brigade. We're not quite to 55,000 yet, but I'd love to get there. Remember, I am a documentary filmmaker. Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Essentials for 9/11. Essentials for 9/11. If you think that your government just out of the blue became tyrannical, I got news for you. No, 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 no. If you don't know the darkness that lies behind the events of September 11th, 2001, you need to. And you can check them out for free. Earlier today, I played an extensive segment about Cecil Rhodes' roundtable groups and how the thought processes of the oligarchs of yesteryear have really been the driving force for the oppression of the predator class today. And I couldn't be prouder of Invisible Empire and New World Order Defined and Shade the Motion Picture. Once again, if we're talking about modern day oligarchs, billionaires that do not have your best interests on your behalf, Shade the Motion Picture. Bill Gates, many others, Bilderberg Group, geoengineering, bioengineering, you name it, we expose it in that film. So guys, if you can support me, remember we're fully demonetized here. 5, 10, 15 bucks means the world to me. Big donors need you now more than ever. Go check me out on Rockfin as well as Minds. And I love you guys. I will see you all on the flip side.